order the school board meeting of June 26th, 2024. First item on the agenda is approval of the public hearing minutes from June 12th.
Make a motion to approve minutes.
Thank you, Amy.
I'll second.
Jasmine, any further discussion on those minutes?
Thank you, Sharon.
Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions, and the motion carries. Next up is the approval of the minutes. So that was on the minutes.
That was the public hearing.
Yeah, public hearing minutes. The next is the actual school board minutes from the same June 12th.
Make a motion to approve.
Okay,
I'll second.
thank you, Jasmine. Any further discussion on that? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions, and that motion carries. Then the last is the approval of the non-public minutes from June 12th.
Make a motion to approve.
Thank you, Tim. Thank you, Jasmine. Any discussion on that? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions, and that motion carries. Next up is correspondence.
I made a confidential parental letter from regarding a child.
Up next is the business administrator's report. Deb.
Yep, just before you all leave the manifest over here. Move the table, on this round
Over by the
table.
bongo drums.
Okay, yeah, oh, well, Tammy has one over there. And just a reminder, because we only have one meeting in July.
Right.
Because this continues between payroll and paying bills and all that.
Yep.
So just, I've been trying to send out an email, at least for the payables, the invoices, just so you had the checklist. Payroll is direct deposit, so for the most part, so I don't really have a checklist to send out, but I just need you to respond or come into the SAU just so we can keep things going. And yes, there's snacks in honor of Judy's last meeting, and Judy, thank you for the last,
boy.
Yes.
for the last 13 years. We're
Just
gonna miss
stay.
you.
Aw.
It's been fun.
She's
didn't sound
almost like she.
You say most, most of the fun. Thank you. All right, and for her final superintendent's report.
Well, everything, we did have a facilities committee meeting. Did someone want to fill the board in on that? No?
Okay, I mean, we really didn't go over too much. Gym floors have been refinished, that's done. Floors and doors have all started, the carpets have been pulled out, it's going a little slow as far as the pulling stuff out, there's still a little more to pull out. The week of the 8th, the doors and windows are going back in, the windows are being pulled. They found the issue with the the gym door over here, where it was humped up and you couldn't get out those side doors over there, so they're taking care of that, and then work on a permanent fix for that. We're coming up with a plan as far as, it's a little more involved than what we thought, as far as the plan for the garage and the moving of the path. So we're gonna come up with 2 plans and figure out what works best for the town. Nothing further on that, nothing that needs to be done with the board, just letting you know where we're at with that. And the middle school wing, HVAC will start in mid-July, that's about it.
Nice.
And the fencing out here is gonna be done, same, they're starting all the fencing out here too.
Perfect.
That's it.
So they have all of the parts and pieces they need
I
to finish
believe
the
so.
project? for the
Yep.
HVAC?
No. Did you already mention the gym floors?
Yes.
So the high school gym floor?
Yeah.
No, this is-
You finished it.
What is the schedule on that? Like, how often do they do that?
Every year.
Every single year? Nice.
Just a reminder that your July and August days are not your typical 2nd and 4th Wednesday, so just keep that in mind. End of closing went well. Everything went smoothly. You're talking about the pictures on the wall for the kids. If you go online, they're still kind of mixed up. So if you click on a picture, the child will come up and they'll talk about a different picture. So
We're still working on
The
coordinating.
QR code is out there now. The QR code is out. We're just
Cool.
looking
Oh,
at
did it
that. So you
work?
might be able
Oh, you
to
can
test it
scan
on your
that
way
way.
out.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, cool.
Nice.
All right.
That's neat.
Definitely check it out.
What are the dates for the July meeting? 17th, I think. Just the 17th.
17th is July,
Okay.
and the 21st is August.
Thank you. I have the regular weeks in. Thanks.
Your intervention coordinator job description is included in the package, just, so you have an idea of what the responsibilities are. And committees, there have been no committee meetings right now, and we'll be starting those up in the fall.
And this is the one that we approved the nomination for last meeting, right?
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
So now you'll have, the facilities and policy meeting is the only one that usually runs all year. The rest of them are, teacher-based, so.
So we can decide to come in early in July or in August. For policy.
Policy,
The
yeah.
next
we would
July
decide.
meeting will be.
We'll come in at
Policy,
6.
yeah.
And then I can talk about the rest as we get to those meetings.
Thank you. All right, and
Principal's at a conference, correct? Are they at a conference?
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, right, yeah.
All right. No, and they didn't send anything. Committee reports, we've heard basically from the facilities. Is there any other committee?
That was it, that was the only committee report.
Then we are dealing with the
Policies.
first reading for the policies.
Your policies for the withdrawal, since this is your first one,
Yeah.
remember that?
Yeah.
We're not,
Right,
Yeah.
we just move everything to second, yeah.
And it looked like a lot of this stuff is, again, just legislative updates. Is that accurate?
It's, yeah, from the spring policy update, NHSEA spring policy update.
So some just their recommended stuff. Do you have any questions, comments? No? Yep.
I make a motion to move policies ACE, ACF, ADB, ADC, BGAA, CA, DID, DID-R, EEAB, GBCD-RG, IHBA, IHBA-R, JICD, JKAA, JRA, and KEE to second reading.
Thanks, Tammy. Thank you, Jasmine. Any further discussion on that issue? All right, all those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions, that motion carries.
Good thing they're on the agenda. huh?
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
I think Sean Hagan refers to that as alphabet soup.
That's
a portion of the meeting.
During the D week.
There are no staff nominations, recommendations, or resignations.
So, well, I have a nomination.
Yeah.
Right,
Oh,
yeah.
okay, okay,
So
I
I
was
can do that,
confused.
I can do that now.
Oh,
If
okay,
it makes sense to
yeah.
do that now.
Sure.
Yeah, so, I'll sort of give you a bit of an update about what has gone on in the past week or so. I spoke with lawyers from the NHSBA, just to sort of get a review of the process that we should follow. And so then they sort of gave me some information. I reached out to Dr. Steady and offered her the job at the pay level that the board had discussed. You know, that offer was pending, you know, a satisfactory review of the references, and also, which at the time I thought was gonna include the criminal background check, but we had already done that, and so
Right.
Nora said that we didn't need to do that again. Nora came back with no issues with the references, and so the other issue was on, basically on being able to reach terms on the contract. Judy and I sent her contract to our district's attorneys to look them over, make the adjustments for full-time. And essentially, there was a slight language change with regards to, you know, Judy's contract was for 4 days. We put in that it was full-time. They updated some of the language, minor changes. I actually called just to make sure that there wasn't any substantive changes that they were intending to make, and that it was all just sort of minor changes. And then we updated the portions that were reflective of the sick leave and vacation time to be in line with a full-time work schedule. So I think Judy was getting 20 days and 15 days, or 20 days and 12 days, and so for full-time it's 25 and 15 for, but other than that, there was no other changes to it, or no other sort of meaningful changes or substantive changes to the contract. And I spoke with, we then forwarded the contract to Judy, or to Mary. She reviewed the contract and I didn't have any issues with it. And so we were able to come to terms basically on the salary that we were proposing, as well as the terms of the contract that we were proposing.
That's
as
a
well.
3-year contract, correct?
That's right. Yep. And so, based on that, and, you know, based on, you know, and just for folks that weren't necessarily involved in the process, you know, the process started with us engaging the Bryan Group, who specializes in the recruitment of Iowa administration for schools. They went through their process with a group of, I think, 12 volunteers that made up the superintendent search committee. After reviewing the candidates and interviewing extensively those candidates that they found suitable, they came to us with Dr. Steady as their recommended candidate. And so, as a board, we decided to offer her that position. She's accepted that position. I think we've reached terms on the contract. And so, I would, I guess, I'm not sure if I'm supposed to nominate her, or I would make a motion, I guess, to enter into the 3-year contract with Dr. Steady to act as our superintendent.
I'll second.
Thanks, Susan. Does anyone have any further discussion on that?
I just want to say thank you to the superintendent search committee. You know, it was a very intensive process, and I think from what I've heard, it's been was valuable to go through the process, and I'm shocked but also happy that we have a superintendent in this amount of time, because I think when we first started this process, I don't think many were confident that we would have somebody in time before school started for 25 years.
Yeah, definitely. A lot of people put in a lot of time, and we certainly appreciate that.
And now she needs to hire a director of pupil services.
Yeah. So
So we can post that after this vote. correct?
right. Yeah. I think that will probably be
Oh, she can post it.
Sir,
As soon as
first
she-
order of business.
That's her first job.
So, any other discussion?
Contract is signed.
The contract is not signed yet. It's just on the contract after we vote on it. So, all those in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye.
Yes.
Opposed, abstentions, and that motion carries. And welcome aboard. Well,
Yeah.
to your new role. No other nominations or recommendations, or thank God, no resignations. I don't see anything under new business. Any
No new business.
new business, strategic plan and superintendent search,
Oh, that's all done now, right?
yeah. In new business, well, continuing business, I can add that part of my discussion with Mary today, was, some of the things that she'd like to do. One of the, issues that she brought up was, what her role in interacting with the board is, and, are we looking for, her to do what, Dr. McGinn has done, keep that basically status quo, or are there things that the board would like to see done differently? Or ways that she would prefer her to deal with us differently. And so what I told her was that we talked to the board about maybe scheduling just a short session that we can have that discussion as a
We
board.
had talked about having like a welcoming interview type.
Yeah, yep,
So,
I
yeah.
mentioned that to her as well. I think maybe it makes sense for the board to have a discussion about what we want
Mhm.
before we meet with
Sure.
her. So that we have a consensus of,
Right.
what we wanna, if there's any changes, to the way that we.
It should be a non-public discussion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I was, so I think maybe at the next meeting, we could just put something on the agenda, just a short, non-public to, address that.
Yeah.
And that way we can have a discussion with her when she comes in for that, so
I won't be here, but I trust you guys, but I'll go over there.
you can always forward if you have any thoughts on that, forward to one of us, and we'll. Those. Right, next up is no students and staff. Good evening.
From me, before the end of school, grade 7 summited Mount Washington via the Cog Railway. A couple of weeks ago now, and visited the observatory. We were hosted by staff from the Mount Washington Observatory during the entire trip. Students collected weather data at the base along the way up from the train, and again at the summit with digital thermometers and instruments to observe differences as we traveled up to the 6,288 feet at the summit. Then at the top, we perused the museum, toured the weather room, and the students were able to climb up on the very, very top of the observatory where the anemometers are that spin around with the railing around. So yeah, it's pretty cool. Some students even found Nimbus, the resident cat. Thank you to the administration and the board for supporting that experience for the kids. The train up was pretty cool, flipping the seats, all that kind of thing because of the incline. So they're pretty excited about
I
that.
heard from a couple of those kids that it was the coolest and sketchiest thing they've ever done.
Yeah, yeah, that's it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Just said, I always heard that about the college.
Oh, yeah.
Still is. And then from Heather and Aaron and Sean Higgins jumping in a little bit this year and I about Girls of Summer, along with Boys of Summer is underway. Seeing that students may be looking for something a little bit different, we sent out a survey before school is out. And based on those results, we are combining most of the activities this year and introducing new activities for Girls of Summer. We still have hikes planned along with an outing at Mirror Lake. The boys will ride bikes one day, and we still hope to pull off an overnight at the Lonesome Lake Hut. We're able to get in a hike before school was out, but since then the storms have seemed to fall on our scheduled outing days. So we're hiking to Greeley Ponds tomorrow and hope to continue from there. Thank you also again for supporting our enrichment summer programs. And then from Dave Webster, summer school began on June 17th and is in full swing, running 5 days a week with the exception of the 4th of July week. Classes are held for 3 hours each day from 8:30 to 11 in the morning, 11:30. The primary focus is on helping students successfully master missed standards and competencies from previous academic year. Attendance has been consistently strong, and notably, some students have already completed their requirements as early as the second week. Overall, it's been a productive and successful start to the summer program, with students making significant progress towards their educational goals.
That's good to hear.
Yeah.
It's just middle high school, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And that's just the makeup, that's not the ESY, correct?
Right.
Yeah,
That's the credit recovery.
yeah.
Great, thank you.
Excellent.
And I do not see any members of the community, so.
Hi, can I be a member of the community? Jay, don't shake.
Sure.
A couple of questions. One, the box that's in the parking lot, is that a permanent thing or is that something that is being worked out of? Yeah,
Storage Plus, that's the windows for the project.
Oh, gotcha, okay.
Those are- Once they put it in.
We have the bike-a-thon and we were biking around it and I got like, wow, that's been here for a long time. Okay, makes sense, total sense. Thank
The
you
one
for
that's
that.
like for up this.
No, right down
Right in the middle.
Yeah,
The one that's up here is HVAC.
Yeah, that has
Oh.
HVAC on top.
that one I don't see, that's
Yeah,
upside
no,
down.
that's it.
That one's
Yeah.
kind of right
And
there.
now
I'm
there's
like,
a,
wait.
now there's a big dumpster there too.
yeah.
Oh, perfect, okay.
Yeah.
I walked through the woods, so I didn't see the dumpster, but I just, at the bike-a-thon, that's where I stood to
They
cheer
open the
kids
doors
on.
next week, so it should be.
Yeah, no, that's fine, it makes total sense, I've just got to thinking, wow, it's been there a while. And I'm curious with kindergarten, we've got 2 teachers for 10 students. Is one of those teachers moving up, because we still have a hole, correct?
Right, what they're planning on doing is, they've been going to trainings, since last June, well, I would say they went in May, to some trainings, maybe the beginning of June, down to Newcastle, and for multi-age. So I think
Gotcha.
what's gonna start happening is you're gonna have more than just kindergarten in that particular group.
Like K1 or K1
Right,
two.
right, so you may
Gotcha.
have more, they're gonna start moving around now, so.
There was rumors around town, and I'm sure there are rumors, or I hope there are rumors, I should say, that we were going to start a pilot preschool program. Can you confirm that that is
I
not?
don't know anything about that.
Perfect, okay, good, because that, yeah, I had 4 different people ask me, and I'm like, I have heard nothing, and if they were gonna do any kind of pilot programs, I'm pretty sure that, yeah, yeah.
Right.
So that's good, then, that they'll do more grades than just, that's awesome, I like that.
Yeah.
Good, and we still only have 10 kindergartners, yes, yeah,
I don't know what the count is right now, so, but we got just a little more than
hope
that.
we don't lose any. That's-
Gain some in the summer.
Yeah,
I hope so, I hope so. Good, awesome, thank you.
All right, well, I would just say, thank you, Judy.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Judy.
Yes.
You're welcome back.
And we wish you enough.
Yes.
I like that.
Me too.
See you in September.
All right, then, if.
We are looking for a director of people services, just saying. Put in a good word for you with our new superintendent.
If there's nothing else, then I accept the motion to adjourn.
Are we going, we're not having non-public, we're gonna do that next meeting, never
Yeah.
mind.
Yeah, not tonight.
So moved.
Thank you, Tammy.
Second.
Thank you, gentlemen. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, abstentions, and we are adjourned.